Hello and welcome to Real Rescues. This is one of the Southwestern Ambulance control rooms where 999 calls come in all the time. To my right here is the dispatch team and they're sending out emergency crews. To my left are specialists. They're giving out medical advice and sending out doctors. It's a busy place, but it's not the only control room here. Outside, they have a mobile version that goes to major incidents, and we'll be taking a look a bit later in the programme. And the good news is Nikki got that shirt in the end as a thank you from Kieran, and Sarah, not so lucky, has the socks. Kieran himself is making a good recovery. He's still in a cast, but he does hope to be back on the rugby field next season. Nick. It's now 3 hours since the crash. Brian might be out of the plane, but he's still in a critical condition. As we'll see later, it's not over yet. Now, it won't be too long before we all recognise 13-year-old Eddie Manning. Hello, Eddie. He's a rising star of the theatre, but on the eve of his first major performance, he fell and he injured himself. We witnessed his big break. Well, it was a serious break and Eddie was in plaster for 6 weeks. That caused another problem. He'd been offered a part in a major open-air production of Into the Woods, but only if his cast was off in time. Miraculously, he made it just and was able to take to the stage. Congratulations, you didn't get to go on stage.
No.
But what was that moment like when you all won that award?
Oh, it was, the cast were all at the back and we just went mental.
Did you? Doing what?
We jumped out of our seats and it was just...
Absolutely brilliant for you. Tell us about the cast as well, because it was quite close. You only just made it into the Woods, didn't you?
Yeah, I had 2 weeks before we were actually going on the set. So you practiced in the cast, did you? Yeah. Did that make it more difficult? It must have done, wasn't it? Yeah, because on some bits we had to use both hands. So I couldn't really move my arm properly.
I can't believe he wants to go back. Anyway, let's talk to Erica. You okay? You're not on a call, are you, Erica?
No, that's okay, yeah.
About an elderly lady who was on holiday here and she'd had a fall. Where'd she had it, though?
Yeah, she had a fall in the forest at Matcham's and she was down here on her own and she'd taken her 2 dogs for a walk in the forest. And it was just starting to get dark and she fell over and broke her leg. And she didn't know where she was, but luckily we found her by tracing her through pylons and what part of the forest and lay-bys. So we're trying to deal with her, and then she said that she got 2 dogs with her and she didn't want to leave them. So I'm a bit of an animal lover.
You are a dog lover, are you?
Definitely.
Right.
And
so you're immediately concerned about them as well as her?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I tried to trace dogs' homes and other people to see if they could take the dogs on and look after them, but nobody would. And so we were told to leave the dogs in the car for the night in the lay-by, and she could collect them the next morning if she was well. So I had other plans.
Did you? What did you do?
And so my parents lived up the road, so I asked my mum to come down and get the dogs. So she did. And while she was there, the lady said, well, I really don't want to leave my car here either. Can you take that? So Dad came down, picked up the car, took the dogs and the car back to their house. And
this is what I would say is beyond the call of duty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not what we usually do.
Not the normal
And it was
service.
a few years ago, so it was a bit quieter then.
Right.
But at the time, I just thought, I can't do this. I can't leave the dogs in the car overnight.
And do you often call your mum and dad and ask them to do favours like that?
It was a one-off.
And how long do they look after the dogs for?
It was only for 24 hours in the car, and then a family member came and picked everything up. And but it meant that she could relax a bit while she was going to hospital.
Yes, the other thing is, if you're injured, you still worry about your loved ones and your dogs and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she was happy, I was happy, but it's not something we usually do, I must say.
No, people shouldn't expect to be able to call up, should they?
No, definitely not.
Erica, thank you very much.
That's okay.
That's all for today. Join us next time for more Real Rescues. See you then.